The following is an exclusive production of Minutemen Command. The Flagship Pod with your hosts, ESPN personalities Mike Corey and Rene and is on the air. Brought to you by Todd Fritz Roofing with insight and info from UMass and Mac Insiders. From the Command Studios, here are your hosts, Mike and Rene.
All right, welcome to the show. Good to be with you, everyone. We just got through week one in the books. Football season is underway. Tough one, obviously, Rene, 42-10 loss to Temple. We're going to get right into it here with the head coach. Joe Harasymiak joins us now. And, Coach, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it. And you know, again, you've said a lot of this already, obviously disappointing to me and what we were seeing in some of these, like, you know, headlines and this and that. It's like, you weren't here for all this stuff before. You know, I see like adversity. It's like it's week one. And I know it wasn't the way you wanted it to go down. I think we're all more so disappointed with the score that you lost because, you know, that could have happened, obviously. What was your take on all this that's happening when this is your first game? You know, like you just got here.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, I think you guys know, you know, kind of yesterday when I was asked that question. But listen, I really do understand. I get it. I mean, I'm severely disappointed in the way that we went out there, especially just the way the game transpired. I mean, I really thought, you know, I talk about it all the time. People probably get sick of it. The ball killed us. I mean, we're driving the ball. We're up 10-7. We puke it. You know, they go down, score 14-10. We go all the way down the field, first and goal at the 3. I gave Jake the green light right away. I'm like, we're going. Like, I don't even need to hear the book, look at the book. You know, got 4 plays from the 3. And my thought process there was, you know, even if we don't get it, as long as we don't take negatives, you know, -1 yard line. You know, you guys know how the wind always goes in McGurk. It goes toward the south. And they kind of got a rugby-style punter, and I felt good about having the ball in a good position if we could back them up there. And, you know, so I thought the game got away from us there, you know, kind of in that second quarter. And then moving forward, you know, it's 28-10. We start on our own, I think, -6, -8. We go march down the field, and, you know, Brandon didn't make a good decision especially on first down, you know. So, you know, we're all disappointed. I said yesterday, no one wants to win more than the players, and we got to get it done. Like you know, we want this place to be something that's special, something that people can take pride in. And right now we're not giving them a reason to, and we should take crap for it. I'm with it. You know, we just got to keep going. And I talked to the team today. We got to earn it. Like, we haven't done anything. Like, we got to earn it. Like, it ain't just going to happen. And I think what happens right now is we kind of like look around, and we expect someone else to kind of pull us out of that and make a play. Where, no, why don't you just do your job and let's go do it together. So, you know, we're working on it. Certainly, I think the reality of the situation, yes, there's a lot of new players, a lot of new coaches. We played for the first time, first game of feedback. But I was disappointed. I didn't think going into that game it would end like that, especially with that kind of point differential. I really didn't. I felt like the game was not trending in that direction, but that's college football. Like, you turn over the ball, you cut guys loose on defense. I mean, in the blink of an eye, it's 28-10. So we got to be better. We're going to do everything we can to be better. And, you know, we're going to look forward to getting back and getting this taste out of our mouth.
Yeah, Coach, just to stay on the UMass fans for a second.
Yep.
And to Mike's point, and you were on it, right? You know, post-game press conference, you said the narrative's going to be same old UMass, right? And so I'm entrenched in social media, kind of have to be with our line of work. Yep. And I will say this, UMass fans, there's a lot of really good fans, very knowledgeable fans. There's some that are angry, some that aren't that knowledgeable, but they're all passionate. And that's a good thing, because the worst thing you do is turn on social media and there's nothing there. So, you know, that part, it's good. And I was talking to Mike about this last night. Since UMass transitioned FBS in 2013, I'm a big dog person. Anyone that knows me knows I rescue dogs. I have a lot of dogs here at my home. And I kind of equate the UMass fan to almost like, you know, a dog that gets an owner, right? And they're like, that's a great owner. And they kind of get not treated great, right? And then they go to the next owner. It's going to change this time. And then same happens over and over and over. And then I just think with Saturday, they kind of like they were wincing, right? They're like, oh, here we go again. So I don't believe that. based on everything that I've researched and I've done, and I know you and I know your staff, and we're up there in the spring. So I guess my question is, what is one message? Because we do get this is a pretty good platform for UMass fans. What's your one message directly to that UMass fan, maybe the UMass fan that is skeptical already after game one?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, and I want to start with that. Like, I understand why that performance looks the same, and for everybody to believe that nothing has changed. I have no issue with that. And I said yesterday, I'm glad there's a fan base that's passionate about us wanting to win. Like, if no one cared, then, I don't know if any of us would want to be here or you guys want to cover it. Like, there's passion for this place. It's changed people's lives. And I get that. I think the message from me is that everywhere I've been, we're doing the little things. And again, I know that's a lot of the stuff that people have heard. Like, I don't believe that performance is indicative of the team we have. I truly believe that. It got away from us. We did not play well, especially defensively. I'm a defensive backgrounded coach, so that goes on me first and foremost. But I think we just got to keep being the light. Like, I talk about that, and it's going to take – I said yesterday, I don't have a date. I wish I did for anything in my life that was really hard. I know they're working their butts off. I know they're trying really hard. And I think the message from me is I just got to continue to be light. Like, I can't go back to that negativity, at least from the head coach's seat, right, for the players. And we've all been there, whether it's in our life or, Rene, when you played here, there was probably some tough times. I know it was better off then, but I think things were established then. And I think that's the thing, what we're trying to do. We're trying to establish the winning ways. Like, that's really hard. And I got to remember, like, this group hasn't really won together yet. Yeah. And I just think there's some things you got to go through. And when you get the first one, I hope it just starts to, okay, we can do this. And that's what we're trying to teach and coach. And I want it now more than anybody. I want to come on here and talk about wins and do that. But I just need them to keep being passionate. I think they should have a voice. I agree with it. And all I can say is I think we're doing the little things right. I think we're coaching it right. I think you saw some progress, obviously, over the first kind of 2 quarters there. But it's not good enough. I get that. Like, I was at the level of college football the last 6 seasons, 7 years with off seasons. Like, I know how much pressure there is. As a defensive coordinator, you make a call and all you think about is, oh my God, I'm going to get crushed for that. Right. That's the kind of the mindset. Right. And I went through some tough times last year at Rutgers. Right. We were a top 15 or 16 defense in the country in 2023. Right. And then we go last year and we did not play well. Like, we didn't. A lot of factors in that, but we care. We're passionate. We want to win. And I know it's cliche. I just need them to keep having our back. I mean, that's really all I can say. And I know we need to prove that. I 100% get it. There needs to be results. This is a result-driven business. We're here to win. We get paid money to coach and win. Like, we want to win. And that's what I'm trying to echo to not only the coaches, but, running the team. An 18 to 23-year-old kid wants to win, but he might just not know how to yet. Like, those little things that go into that. And that's what we're trying to teach with the ball, explosive plays, all the things I keep talking about, because at the end of the day, that's the foundation to how to win. And certainly we need players to play better. We need coaches to coach better. And that's really all I can say on that. But I really do appreciate our fan base. I really do. Like, the student section was awesome. I didn't give them a reason to stay. We didn't give them a reason to stay. So I'd probably head back to my dorm as well in the third, fourth quarter. Like, I get all that. And until we give them a reason to be the light and be positive, I just need them to keep maybe looking at the little things, and hopefully we can keep that passion alive in a good way.
Well, and that's the word right there, Coach. I mean, it is positive, because, like, you have a tough job here. You're trying to change this culture, of not winning, and that's easier said than done. I mean, it's because it's like you got to go out there and win, but you have to have that mindset. I know you know that, because you guys have had that from this entire offseason we've talked to you. But I want to look at some of the positive things because like there's some things that you guys are doing, like you said, off season and on the football field that haven't been done before that will translate into stuff. I mean, I loved you in terms of being aggressive. You know, it's like, be aggressive. Let's not be a team that's like, oh, I don't know about that. Be aggressive. Your guys worked hard. I thought Griffin had a really good game. Gibson, good game. I mean, there's a lot of positive points from this, first week. So can you give us that and what you're trying to instill with these guys of positivity so that this doesn't happen again?
Yeah. The message for me after the game and kind of leading up to it a little bit, but I should have probably hammered it more. Like, I'm going to tell you exactly what I told the team. What do we have to lose? Like literally the guys that were here, the new guys, like, and my point is we have to cut it loose. We got to stop worrying about disappointing people or what if I don't do this? What if I make a mistake? Like, let's go. Like, let's try and cut it loose. And that's that's the message at my Tuesday team meeting this morning. That's going to be the message throughout. Like, we got to go attack. We got to go play. Like, we made mistakes kind of playing not great. Like, let's go cut it loose and see what happens. And when you do that, you end up playing faster. I think you end up building more confidence. Certainly our preparation. And, you said some of the bright points, like it's unfortunate the way the game unfolded there in the second quarter because we got behind. Like, we were running the ball effectively. Like, I know Rene knows, like, some of those gap scheme counter plays, like, we had a legitimate shot. Rocco's got to keep his track on the third down and goal play. If he stays off tackle, we have a better chance than cutting it back to get in the end zone if we stay off 87's ass, right? Or butt, sorry. I don't know if I can.
No, you say whatever you want.
Say ass here.
Yeah, so like we get an off tackle play, right? So little things there, and then Brandon's got to get off the midline there to help him out. Like all those little things that, again, and I'm like all the offensive things, like I know how to look at it from a defensive perspective, right? And then Jake, who I have a great relationship, and Kurt and those guys, like they coach me up. And what we do on Sunday is just to let the fan base know, like I go in there with plays marked, and they're not great meetings. They're not like, hey, what happened? Why did it happen? And I usually ask those two questions. Was it scheme or personnel? And what can we do better? So like learning from that. But Rocco, I mean, you saw like the kid is a really good player, and he's such a good person that he doesn't, he wants to do it right. I thought Gibby has done exactly when you guys came in the spring, we talked about him. He's been solid in camp. Him and B Rose have a connection. I mean, he creates explosive plays. And we got out of our own way. When you fall back behind 18, then 20, 24, whatever it was, 25, it becomes tough. And you got to kind of play one way and throw it. And that's never good for anything. I kind of probably could have let up and let it be 35-10 and not go for it on 4th and 10, but we're not going to have that mentality. Like we have to cut it loose. We got to go. But I do think there was some bright spots. I thought our two corners played pretty well. I thought the outside, besides the play that Malcolm gave up on the cross-country route, and that was an eye violation. But I thought our two corners, Malcolm Green and TJ McGee, had a pretty solid day outside. They killed us up the middle. Their tight ends and their run game in between the tackles. Like we did not play well up the middle of our defense, linebackers and safeties, and I'm hoping those guys bounce back. So, we got to pull the positives, but I think the reality of the situation is we are going to point out what we do wrong. Like it's not acceptable to lose. It's not acceptable to play that way. And in my career, players and coaches, you either step up or you don't. Like it's pretty black and white, right? So we gotta force the issue. And I know that's why the fan base, like they're so passionate, they want it now. And we want it now too. Listen, don't get me wrong. I want it now too, more than anybody. But we just got to keep doing the right things. But there's definitely some positives, and I think hopefully we'll take a step forward.
And we know from week 1 to week 2, traditionally, it's the biggest improvement for any team out there. You talked about the middle of your defense. Let's go even up to that D line. I know you're not happy. 9 of 12 on third downs. You just couldn't get off the field. Time of possession was slanted that way. Physicality-wise up front in the trenches and on offensive line too. I thought the run blocking was good. I think the pass pro probably some work to do. Just give me your assessment there, and then what do you got to do to get off the field on third down?
Yeah, if we start with the third down stuff, I thought when we put them in that situation in the first quarter, that's when Sean Bray's sack happened. third and just longer, gives you a little bit more time to operate, a little bit more time to collapse the pocket. I think they did a great job getting themselves into manageable third downs, but there's no doubt about it. Like, our 4-man pass rush has to be better, right? Certainly an injury causes Chambray to move out because, that's what happens. Like, but again, everybody gets injured. Like, everybody's going to get injured. Everybody's going to be injured. So next guy stepping up and our depth is going to be challenged. But I think we got to put our guys in more situations to get some third down stuff where we can do that. So certainly on defense, it has to improve. And I agree with you. I thought our O-line in the run game was doing a really good job to start, and then we kind of, again, we had to get away with it. They had some talented guys when we had to, we took those 2 sacks in a row. And I was with the kid over there, Cam Stewart. Like, he's a dynamic pass rusher. If you give him space and time, certainly we have to be better. And I think I can correlate a lot of that to eyes going down, forward lean, as Coach Anderson would say, in terms of my eyes go down, my head goes down. So I thought in the run game, like you said, the offense was good. I thought pass pro up until certain moments was pretty good. But again, we just got to keep improving. But you're absolutely right. If we can't rush 4 and get it done, well, then you're bringing 5. Well, then you're bringing 6. And then where does the pressure go? The pressure goes to the back end. So we got to hold up. So, but I think you're spot on with that for sure.
Injury-wise, Franks and Nobles done for the year, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, Nobles was a torn Achilles, which is just awful for the kid. I mean, his production, we were looking forward to. One of the top portal guys, like we felt that we went out and got. Zach, and both were crazy. Nobles was just a non-contact on a Spiders practice day in D-line Indy. Just a freak step. Franks was kind of a non-contact ACL, who was pushing to start there at the left tackle position, was definitely going to be in the rotation. So those 2 guys, will be out for the year. Z went down, kind of on that in the first quarter there. He had that safety fit, came down, made a nice hit. Shoulder kind of came out, went back in. And then I give kid the credit, like, goes into the tent. He comes back out, and that punt return they had, he's running down, defending off, and it came back out. You can see it on tape. So we lost the gunner there. So we're going to have to evaluate him. He's probably going to be out this week. He's doing everything we can. TY, x-rays were both negative on him and Z. So TY was out there today. I hopefully plan on having TY. His mindset is great. It's just Z's is a little bit tougher to come back from right now with it being out really twice. So here we go, right? But I mean, this is it, right? I mean, this is it. And next guy up. And, I made a point of that on Sunday. Like, hey, if you go in to these games thinking you're not getting in, like, usually you got to learn once. But I hope we've had a team message of, hey, we got to go. Like, this is, I mean, when we get into conference play in October, like, everybody's beat up. Everybody has the same practice. And that's why I try and compare it to, like, Tuesday, Wednesday, the hardest days in college football. Right? They're the earliest days you got to get up in the building. It's first and second down. Then Wednesday goes red zone and third down. Then you kind of put it together. Like, you got to manage your time. You got to manage your routine. You got to get back in the film room, and it's next guy up mentality. And certainly I hope we have that, because we're going to need it this Saturday for sure.
Yeah, and speaking of time, we're not going to keep you too much longer because we appreciate it. We know you got a lot to prepare for. But Bryant coming up this week. What's our focus here? What are you guys doing to get ready for that? And I know, you might think too, the fans, here we go again, but you can't even worry about it. But it's like, now we're all like, you really got to beat this team, or you know what I'm saying? You already know this stuff, but it's like,
I'm with you.
Win.
And that's the one thing I want to make sure, like, coming off this thing, like, I want to have a connection with them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to come on here and BS. Like, I get it. And I think that, hopefully, to your question before about, like, what I want them to know, like, we're with them. Like, we share the same frustrations and all that. And they just have more years of it. I get that. Yeah. I was not here. I certainly understand that, and we got to do it now. So this week, like, the number one thing I said to the team, like, we are in no position. I don't care what the league is. Like, I took the logo off of everything this week. I'm taking it off. I don't care, because we're going American, then we go CAA, then we go Big Ten, then you go SEC. Like, we're in no position to take anybody at any level lightly. Again, it's back to the point of, like, we haven't done it together. Like, we got to go and attack every game in that mentality, in that space. And I am extremely impressed with how hard they play. Like, I'm going to say it here, which is going to get people worried. If we don't show up and play hard, like, it's going to be a problem. Like, we better show. Like, they like the head coach, look at his background. He was a walk-on at Indiana, right? Earns a scholarship, then becomes a special teams captain. And Rene, what year did you graduate? What year?
95.
So he was there at night. Like, that's like, those guys are insane back in the day. Like, that did that like walk-ons to scholarships, and then he was a special teams captain. He goes down to Christopher Columbus, which is some of the best high school football in the country, just population-wise, and wins 170 games. Like, they play like that.
They gave New Mexico State everything they could handle.
Yeah, no, and they play like, if you just turn on the tape, they play hard. Like, I'm sure he wants to clean things up and have better discipline. They had 11 penalties, those types of things. But listen, like, they're going to come in here thinking they have every right to win, and I don't see why they wouldn't think that. Yeah. So it's not like, we're going to get a team that's like, oh, we're playing up like that. And again, you guys know my background. My whole career was made in the CAA, being a position coach, a coordinator, and luckily enough to be the head coach. Like, this is it. And we beat Western Kentucky in 18. Like, we got to show up regardless of the opponent, and we got to play. And I just been impressed with how hard they play, and we got to match that, and we got to control what we can control, obviously, with all the things we talked about. But we better show up. Like, our team better show up.
Here's a phenomenal stat. Since 1978, that's when the separation happened between 1AA and 1A. 1978, 46 years, every single year an FCS program has beaten an FBS program. It's never not happened, and it already happened this year. So, I'm sure your kids – that's the one probably good thing with social media. They see that stuff, like the upsets happen against good teams. Tarleton State, we saw what they went to Army and did last week. So the upsets are there, man. You got to be ready for them.
Yeah, no, and I something I talked to the team about today is, like, we got a lot of guys that either are moving up from that level, didn't play in a group of 5 or Power 4 that came to us to get an opportunity to play. Like, hey, like, not a lot is different in terms of the mindset of the person. Like, there are probably some kids in that team like, hey, this guy didn't look at me in the portal, or this guy didn't recruit me, or UMass in general didn't recruit me. Hey, this is a big time. And I know how those guys look at this game. This is their filmmaking game.
Yeah.
They want to get it against the best competition, because when you're a scout and you're getting a chance, what are you going to do? I used to tell the guys at Maine, they're going to turn on the BC game. They're going to turn on the Maine Boston College game. And that's the first one they're going to watch to see how you match up to the level. So I agree with you. And I know our guys are hungry to get it fixed. And but in no way will our team be taking this game in any other game, whether it was next week going to Iowa, going down to the SEC, or getting into the MAC in October. So
one last thing for you before Mike closes it out. For you personally, back in the saddle, head coach, it had been a few years. How did it feel? And I'm sure even for you, Joe, there's probably going to be some changes and adjustments for you personally moving forward, right?
Yeah, 100%. I thought I just evaluating myself. I thought I tried to stay in the moment. I thought our decision-making in terms of like that aggressiveness, that stuff was on the same page. I think we have a good operation there, and just, it's weird not calling it just in terms of like, you're so ingrained in that, and, getting the iPad and making those adjustments and doing that kind of stuff. You got to, you're paying attention obviously to everything. So it was a little weird at times. Just kind of being like, not so much like, what do I do? It's just like, it's not like, where do I put my hands? Like that. But it's just like getting back into that flow of each phase of the game, going to the dots, talking to Kaz, talking to Jake, talking to Jared, moving back and forth, trying to really keep the pulse of the team and the positivity on the sideline.
And I lied, Mark. I got to give a shout out to Keegan Andrews, because everything we thought he was going to be, flipping the field with that punting, that's going to pay dividends for you throughout this season.
Yeah, and we talked about, I take them through the game, right? So lose the ball by 2, lose explosive plays by a margin of 4, right? Penalties were even though we probably had a little bit more that was declined, but they ended up 5-5. Third down, they won. Red zone chances, they were 3 for 3. We were 2 for 4. They had 21 points. We had 10, difference in 11. The green that we had was we put 3 punts inside the 20, 2 inside the 10. So, like, he's going to be a weapon for us. I thought Derek Morris gave us big confidence. Again, you guys know how the wind goes here. Mm-hmm. Like, that was a good kick. and it got us to 10-7. Like, yeah, we want to, and we talked about sixes versus threes. That's kind of our offensive mindset, right? Sixes versus threes are going to catch up to you. But when we need to do it, that was great to see. And I just think Keegan is just going to be a weapon where when we have to take advantage of him. Like when he does that and he flips the field for us, we got to keep him in a backed up punt. Because that punt usually equals points of some kind, because the average start position, if I have this right, according to CAI, I think is like the +40 or the +38 from any punt inside the -4, right? And then it kind of gradually goes up, but that's big time stuff. I mean, that's a short field. You're probably book-wise and mentality-wise, when you get that backed up punt, you're like, all right, hey, Jake, you got to this down and distance and you got 4 downs. Like, and I think that plays into what Mike was saying. Like, we're going to be aggressive when it allows us to be aggressive, because again, we had 10 possessions. We had 3 in the second half only. Yeah. You mentioned the time of possession. It was 20 minutes to 9. So we got to take advantage of possessions. Like with this clock running now over 2 minutes, you ain't getting 14, 15 possessions anymore. Like,
goes quick.
Again, it makes everything else. And that's why everybody's getting aggressive nowadays and going in for on 4th down. And certainly, with how our defense struggled, like we were going to be aggressive and we had to be. So I agree with you, man. He's going to be a huge weapon. And, I talked to the team, like, we got to meet at the intersection point in all 3 phases now. Yeah. Like, we can't just be like, take a step back there, move up on offense and stay static on, especially like we have to connect it. Like, we got to play a complete game. And I'm trying to show the team why a game off a drive chart flows the way every game tells a story. And at some point, those pages are blank and it writes a story with how we play. Like the input is what you get the result, right? So whatever you input into the game, that drive chart, that flow. So when we do that on special teams, you got to take advantage of that, especially them going north on our field with the wind, how it goes. Like we got to take advantage of that. So I agree with you 1,000%. And he's just got to keep doing what he's doing. We got to take advantage of it.
All right. Well, Coach, we're just underway. It's only week 1. We love your passion. We know you guys are making a lot of great changes there and love talking to you too. And we're going to back you. I mean, I don't care what the fans say. It's like, hey, had you won the game, everybody would have been like, oh, now UMass is great. They should be winning every game. Yeah. One way or the other. You can't go off the friggin' handle. You know what I mean? So
listen, guys, I appreciate what you guys do. I really do. I think this platform is great. We've never really had this. And with that comes more exposure. Yeah. More like it's all good. Like, and I just want everybody to know that we're doing the right things. And I don't know when it's going to click, but we're gonna figure out a way. And don't stop being passionate. I encourage people, don't. Like, I coach like crap. Let's go. Like, I'm with it. And I just appreciate you guys for everything you guys do, and I appreciate our fan base. Don't change. I appreciate the student body. Don't change. And listen, we all at the end of the day. Here's what I told the team. Everybody, whether it's our fans, you two, we all have one common denominator. We want to win.
That's right.
And if we just keep it like that, that's a good thing. Yeah. We all want to win. So here we go. We got to get it done.
Hey, look, have a great week. All the best this weekend. We'll be watching, and we'll talk to you again soon for sure. So.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it, man.
Okay.
All right, guys. Later.
All right, Joe Harasymiak with us here after week 1 as the Minutemen get ready for Bryant here coming up in week 2. So, hey,
great stuff. And by the way,
he's not shying away from anything, right? I mean, he wants it bad too, but like I'm just trying to be.
And just so people know, we were only going to have him for 10, 12, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So, and he would have stayed longer, but he's got, he's busy. Listen, it sucks. We said it. It sucks. It sucks for everybody, right? No one wanted to see that result. But the end of the day is there's 11 more, and we have a conference this year that gives us a little more meaning. So listen, there's a lot of negative Nellies. I know, because they at shit at me all the time. I get it. And Joe said everybody understands it. Listen, I get it. Okay. I'm going to give you a stat. And I've said this to you before, Mike. And Mike, and you know me personally since UMass went to the FBS. You know me behind the scenes. You know the things that my passion for UMass. We'll just leave it at that. Okay. UMass is, and this is like in defense of the fans. They know that. They know this. I don't know if they know this. Since UMass has transitioned in 2013, of all the schools that have transitioned from FCS to FBS, UMass has the worst losing percentage. Okay. It's not acceptable. We know that. to your point, Joe just got here, but he knows that, and he understands the sensitivity with the fans. I agree with him, guys. You just have to be positive. You have to play this thing out. For a lot of people that are like, here we go. We lost to Temple. We got beat bad. Drop football. Go to FC. I mean, come on, man. Let's play this thing out. Yeah, and I agree. Listen, I've been on a ton of teams where we've gotten our asses kicked, and I will say this, and I didn't say this to Joe because time. Sometimes a game like that, and you brought it up, like, it's not really adversity, it's game one, but like sometimes a game like that though will actually bring you closer as a team for the long run than if you lost by 7 points. You know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like, oh, we were close. This is like, okay, we need to really pull together and fix some stuff and get going. So we'll see. And listen, Bryant is not an easy FCS team. So I'm going to be very curious how they come out and play it, but I know they're going to play hard. Are going to be vast from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's the reality. We're just disappointed with the total point outcome. You know what I mean? I mean, Casey Keeler, I've known him for a long time, and I spent 10 years here. You have an excellent coach. He has the experience. He had his quarterback's incredible. I mean, they got some good talent over there. Okay, and he was going to get it. This is not an easy game. We shouldn't have all felt like, oh, they're definitely going to win this game. This is the outcome that. What do you think Temple thought coming in? By the way, you think they're like, we're going to go into UMass, who hasn't, like you said, the worst percentage in the last 12 years, and lose that game? You don't think they were gearing up for the last month or whatever to try to do this? So it's a little understandable. But I just feel like it's going to take a little bit of time, and I don't want people thinking like you just said, oh, same old whatever. They've done a lot of different things here that sometimes takes a little while to take shape. Like he said. So it's gonna be a little bit, I think, before we see the results, unfortunately.
Listen, obviously, you go in every game to win. Obviously, after Bryant, you got 2 Power 4 programs, right? But then conference play comes, and that's something this program hasn't been able to rely on. So, I mean, you have something really tangible to play for in conference play, until – we'll take it 1 week at a time is basically what I'm saying. But you just can't. It's one game, and they're going to get better, and you're going to move on. And, getting back to the turnovers, and 16 years I've been at ESPN, I've said that I have watched, it's safe to say I've probably watched more football games than the average human, okay? Yeah. It just is. That's just my job, and that's what I do. And I watch a lot of games, and I call a lot of games. So I'm into it. I talked to a defensive coordinator last week, and there's a great stat that shows if you take away the ball on defense, so 2 takeaways, if you average 2 takeaways a game, teams that do that, so that's simple math. I went to UMass. That's 24 takeaways, right, for a team. If you do that, those teams average 9 or more wins a season, okay? 9 or more wins if you take the ball away twice. Now, you look at UMass on Saturday, not only did they get 0 takeaways, they gave it up 2. So you're -2. Well, you're not going to win game. You have to protect the football. And Brandon Rose knows that. And again, we've also seen it, Mike, where 1 or 2 plays in the second quarter totally change the complexion.
It does.
And then the game goes the opposite direction. Now, I'm not saying they were going to win if he doesn't fumble there. But if he doesn't fumble and they were running the ball, they go in, they're up 17-7. The game is vastly different. Could have, should have, I get that. But I'm just saying, based on my experience. So for the people that think like, oh my gosh, here we go and same old UMass, it's not. It's not. I'm a firm believer of that.
No, you're right. You're right. If you're a team that's up 10, the other team, they might run something a little different. They're like, oh, geez, we're down 10. Maybe they're a little more conservative. Who knows? But when you get up on them and then you're clicking, that's what happened. Then they just put their foot on the pedal, right? And then all of a sudden, UMass again, still trying to learn how to win. Is like, oh, geez, what do we do? And you're right. He gave up 1 at the end, because again, he's being aggressive. But I like that. And his point was well taken. It's like, what do we have to lose? You know what I mean? Like, I get it.
Nothing.
Right. So it's like, hopefully he can make sure that the players are not ever feeling any of that crap. Like, oh, geez, whatever. Like, wait a minute. It's probably as bottom as it can be. Like, don't freaking worry about it. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that they all come out with that same intensity. I like that they're aggressive. Go after it. But, I'm saying a lot of things here. But to your point about the 2 takeaways, man, Yeah, you can't give it away though 3 times either. So I'd love to know the stat about if you had 2 takeaways, but you also gave it away twice.
The 2 takeaways are also you're protecting the football because that turnover ratio is the one big. Every time I do a game, I always look at turnover ratio.
It's like a +2, if you will. So I mean,
correct. And the other thing they don't count as takeaways getting stopped on downs on 4th downs. I do because you're giving the ball up, right? And that UMass, to your point, did that as well Saturday.
Well, and you got to make your guys right. If Keegan's going to put the ball inside the 10, the 20, like you can't give up a 90-yard.
The killer. There was 2 killers to my. The turnover by Brandon Rose when they were driving, right?
Yeah.
Temple goes down, then takes the lead, and then you come back, get the big run by Rocco Griffin. You're down there 1st and goal, and you don't come away with any points. You get stopped, but then you got to pin them down there, and then Temple goes 99 yards. I mean, so. Yeah, those are things that need to get fixed. They know that. Just getting back to like the culture aspect of it too. This isn't just a UMass thing. There's so many new players on teams all over the nation that week 1 to week 2, this is where the coaches are really going to earn their money because you have so many different personalities and you just got to get them ready to go. So listen, I'll be interested to see. I'll have a game on the same time, so I'll have to watch it in after the fact. But let's talk about us for a second before we get out here. Talk about your game last week and then where you going this week for everybody.
Yeah, well, so I started off at BYU. I'll tell you, look.
But by the way, forget football. Best press box views in the country. Yeah, bar none. No one has them beat.
Incredible. I mean, hey, I'll get a picture here for you as we're talking. But
now Utah State, which is
it's like
close, are pretty nice too. But yeah, it's incredible.
Awesome. I mean, the mountains in the background. And I'll tell you this. Yeah. I'm going to say this, and I said it on the air. It was 69-0. Okay, they destroyed Portland State. Portland State.
Tough games to call.
Yeah, they lost 42-0, 69-0. They're not a good team. We already knew BYU was going to kill them. I thought it was going to be 82-0, so it's close. But here's the thing: 64,000 and change there. The largest crowd they've had since 2009
for that game.
But they sell it out. They pack it all the time. It was just way the heck above it. And really, they stayed the entire game.
Oh, they are some. That's maybe it's one of the top fan bases in all of college football.
The only place that I've ever been. No, I'm dead serious in a college football game, and I've done a lot of them too, right? And I've done a bunch of them like LSU, Texas A&M, Auburn when they're destroying the opponent. Everybody's out of there by halftime. I looked around in the 4th quarter with like 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, it was still packed. And I'm like, so I said it because I just want to give them credit for like just backing a team no matter what the hell the situation is. But here's the thing. They won 69-0, and I want to be careful on the air of being like, BYU is going to be freaking amazing this year. Guys,
you got to get into the
calm
season.
Down. It's the same thing with the Temple loss. Yeah, it sucked. Lost by 32. Not what we wanted to have happen. Don't tell me they're going to suck all year. Absolutely not. This is a different type of season. We just got to wait to see what happens. But don't go off the rails from 1 week. What do you think Bill Belichick's going through right now down at UNC? I texted you last night. I'm like, he took the pressure off of Harasymiak.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
No, great point. And then, my game. So Thursday, I had a doubleheader. So Thursday, I had UCF Jacksonville State. UCF's quarterback Cam Fancher gets knocked out. Taven Jackson, Indiana transfer, who everyone thought was going to win the starting job, just didn't step up. Gets inserted in there. Kind of obviously, you just get thrown in there, so your mind is kind of out of it. It's like go play. He played pretty well. They had to hang on to beat Jacksonville State. 17-10. So obviously the UCF fans are going nuts too, but it's like Jacksonville State, it's a very good team. They won Conference USA. They went to a bowl game the last couple of years. So
they are good.
The fan bases need to understand that they got to win. So there's just a lot going on first week. And then lightning delay in that game for 2.5 hours, by the way. I didn't get home till 1:15 in the morning. By the time I showered, Mike, you'll enjoy this. It was 1:30 in the morning. I had a 6 a.m., so I'm up at 4. I want to get to TSA by 4:30. Yeah, because my plane boards at 5:10. It was boarding at 5:10. Wow. So I had 2 hours of sleep. But I get to Charlotte for the Dukes Mayo Classic. Shout outs to Dukes. Got a little stuffed animal. Got some Air Jordan Dukes Mayo shoes. But that, App State and Charlotte, 2 new coaching staffs again, and App State looked really good. And then Charlotte, who kind of got beat up in that game, they turn around and play North Carolina, speaking of Bill Belichick, this week. So that's going to be a fascinating, and they get them at home. That's going to be one to watch for sure. And then where are you going this week?
Yeah, you had quite the week. I'll tell you what. That's at least you're all down.
Well, and I can feel it. You know, that's one thing. And people realize when you travel a lot and you do a lot of games and your sleep's down, you get run down. So I can feel it coming on. I'm fighting it. I'm going to go get a sweat after this. I actually have a production meeting at right after this. So I'll do that production meeting and then get a little workout in. But where are you at next week for everybody?
So this week I'm going down to Miami. I got the Hurricanes who just beat Notre Dame, which is crazy in week 1. They got Bethune-Cookman. So
it's 69-0 again. What's your prediction?
Probably somewhere around that. I don't know. You know what, though? This might be one of those weeks where they're like, hey, we just beat Notre Dame. We're awesome. We're going to kill Bethune-Cookman.
Bethune-Cookman's got some good athletes. I'm going to go 48-14.
That's exactly right. It's going to be something like that, I think. But it'll be fun. You got Hard Rock Stadium, so I'm heading down to Miami. You got Mac, okay? Yeah. Ohio looked great against Rutgers. A game they in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, they had a chance to get a fourth down stop. If they get that stop, they get a chance to either go in and try to win the game or tie the game. They end up losing to Rutgers 34-31. But I got Ohio, West Virginia, Rich Rod comes into town, 2-for-1. They're giving the one game at Athens, Ohio, and then Ohio will return that in the coming years 2 times. But like all the articles when you're reading, and I watch both games, it's like West Virginia's on upset alert. I just think West Virginia will know Ohio's quarterback Parker Navarro is the real deal. Actually, was at UCF for a while. He's a dual threat, pure. He can pass and run. 2,000 yards passing, 1,000 yards rushing last year. And against Rutgers, I think he had close to 100 yards running and a couple 100 yards passing. So when you have a quarterback like that that's experienced, and the defense for Ohio, no real superstars because they lost some guys that left and went with Coach Elbin to Charlotte. But just as a unit, I thought they were really good. So, and then West Virginia just they played Robert Morris. They looked sloppy. They still won 45-3. Rich Rod goes really fast. It's not a game that my producer, Brett Walensky, will be doing a lot of replays because they go super fast. But it's a very interesting game, and that one's 4 o'clock on ESPNU. So, again, the same time the UMass game's going on. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, we're going to close it out here. We got Bryant coming up this week. So, I think when we do this again next week, I mean, this is one of those, right, where obviously hopefully they get the win. I don't care what the hell the score is at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
You got to get a win. But what I'd like to see, and I'm sure you and the staff and everybody else is too, is like, just be clean. I don't care who you play, right? If they can get out of there with limited penalties, without turning the ball over, all those kind of things that killed them in week 1, just to be buttoned up, I'll feel a lot better. You know what I mean? Because again, I don't care who you play. And that's what's great when you start the season because everyone's in camp and you got nothing to base anything on. Plus, there's so many new players. Now you have a game under your belt. So you know, okay, we were bad on third down. We gave up the ball. Like all those things, you have a tangible goal now. We need to fix these things. So next week when we're on this show, we'll be highlighting, okay, what did they fix? What did they get better? So I'm excited. And it's a little different, I think, when you played because, like, you guys actually really went after it in practice. I felt like, I mean, you guys hit and banged. I mean, nowadays it's a lot less, we got to be careful. We don't want to get hurt. I get it. You never want to get hurt back then either. But let's just think about it, right? Then you go into week 1 against a good team, and they're smacking you. It's a little bit of a shock to the system, don't you think? And a lot of other teams around the country face absolutely. Listen, I always tell you this. Everything's cyclical, okay? If I ever become a head coach one day, okay, my players are going to hit, and we're going to play a physical brand of football. We're going to run the crap out of the ball because now you have 215-pound linebackers in the box. Right. I'm bringing fullback back, and we're going to pound the crap out of the ball. So you heard it here first. If it's probably a 1.21% chance that I'll ever coach anywhere. Oh, no. But if I ever do, grounded pound, baby. It's going to be a physical brand of football. And my players are going to hit in practice, so they're probably not going to want to come play for me. But whatever. I'll find some out there. Oh, God. Look at. Have a great week. It should be fun. Hopefully UMass pick up a win, and we'll talk about it next Wednesday. See you, Mikey. Safe travels, buddy. Thanks, everyone.